Welcome back to Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots Wrestling's Entertainment Champions. Finish him or nah. The Cleaner versus the Big Dogg. And the doctor is in. And she is in the big title picture. All this and more in the room where it happens. But first, let's see who's making their way to the ring.
Who is Mischief? You heard? Let's get it. On fire tonight.
J.E. Savage, ready to lift it and rip it, baby.
Damn, that sounds aggressive.
The All-Father, Old School Joe.
Woo! Gentlemen, champions. We are ourselves a special guest with us tonight. Who's that I see? He is from the Joe Angle podcast. Talk to him a minute.
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys having me on.
How you doing, brother, man? Thank you for being a part of the show tonight, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm hyped. I like the energy here. I got a cup of coffee, and I'm ready to talk some wrestling.
Oh, my man. I hope it's Irish. So let's go, baby.
We got to do the damn thing, man. JP, why don't you tell the good folks what they can do while we take sips of the early...
Absolutely, and just right in time, folks. Make sure to subscribe and like HPC2Sweet on Twitter, HPC2Sweet _ on IG. You already know. You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning is right? I feel like it's a good morning right now.
It won't be tomorrow.
Champs, we got a lot to discuss tonight, a lot on the agenda. We got some releases, man. Running the Ropes is going to hit us hard for some early cardio, if you know what I mean. Andrade has been officially released from WWE. The report has been released, and he's gone. Talk to us a minute. Joe, how we feeling about that, man?
Crazy, man. This is I think, a long time coming. But I think the crazier thing about it is that there's no 90-day compete clause. So he's able to go anywhere right now.
Tomorrow.
Interesting. What the hell what do you think happened there?
I don't know, man. I think this is something that I think he's wanted for a long time. And I think with his I don't like to say it's his leeway being Charlotte Flair, but I think that because he is attached to her somewhat, there is a lot of leeway there, and that was able to get him out of the contract. I know there's rumors going around that she involved herself in that. I don't think that's the case. I think it was a mutually respected decision, to be honest with you.
I did see that she had involved herself. I don't quite believe it. It's like on some Reddit some bullshit, right? Some nerd in the basement. Right. I believe she put her, I don't think that's what happened, but I mean, hey, who gives a fuck? I'm just happy that he's out and he's free, right? He's free to do as he will. I just think it's absolutely incredibly stupid to not have a non-complete clause on that man. And I'm surprised that it hasn't been executed yet. How has he not been anywhere? Because we've had plenty of shows, right, this week since his release. At least it feels that way.
Well, remember COVID, baby. COVID. Yeah. Things can happen that immediately.
It's all in Florida, bro. It's all in Florida.
It's in the water.
But you understand, they was in Daytona with the motorcycle convention. The governor was there, and shit got fucked up. You know what I mean?
It didn't stop Braun. Braun was out there too.
Listen, man.
Listen, when he goes up to Baltimore and he joins ROH, it'll all be a little more clear to everyone.
I like that.
Is that the best? Is that the best we can do? ROH
for him, he could make that brand.
He could.
I'm sorry. Listen, much respect to ROH. Love the product. Have loved it. We've been to live shows, but in the last couple of years, it's gonna take more than Andrade to have ROH. I'm sorry. Like, it's just facts.
He won't be Andrade though.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Either way, this is positive. We sit here and complain about how much talent is sitting in catering, eating fucking butter biscuits, right? Where has the black mask gentleman been at, right? So
these motherfuckers have butter biscuits.
And she has as much involvement as she does raiding his closet, right? So I think it was because of the relationships this was a here you go, because usually you don't see this.
Exactly.
You know,
I think
that's
it's
positive.
favorable. I think so.
That's positive.
And
You know who
that-
else was positive?
Sure, to understand that doesn't mean he's gonna fuck him over either.
That's right. You know who else
Who's
was positive?
positive?
Oh!
Flair. So the whole reason that Andrade can't just appear everywhere is because he's been housing up with a COVID patient, right?
Wow.
Charlotte Flair is a couple of days away from being cleared, which also means Andrade is a couple of days from being cleared.
Hey,
Right. But
So there was
I
a
hope she
cause.
feels better.
Ah.
Right?
yeah. Did you catch her Broken Skull Mountain that showed that Stone Cold has?
The broken skull.
I saw the one when they did the submarine thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't it like the Steve Austin show or some shit?
Yeah, it's legit the Steve Austin show.
it's the nothing what JP said show.
The place is hitting early, baby. All I had was salmon. You already know.
Yo, you swimming. You swimming, all right. Yo, I hope Charlotte gets better, right? It seems like it's not that serious, right? It doesn't seem like she's been sick or whatever. So hopefully we'll see her soon. Now,
For all those that think this shit is a false, let me tell you something. I got my second dose this weekend, and goddamn it, that was just the fact. And I was seeing stars. I was praying above. So if you think this is fake, you better ask somebody. Charlotte, I hope you do feel.
I thought this was a true. I thought this was a true.
It's predetermined, not fake, JP.
yeah, come on, man. Don't say the F word.
Joe, I gotta ask you, Joe. Where were you when Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker made history last week, man?
Oof. That main event, man. First off, kudos to both women, man. I did not expect that to be what was going to happen.
Me,
I thought it was going to be, a one-on-one match, and then I see thumbtacks and blood and ladders and shit going on, and I'm just honestly, I was sweating watching it on my couch because I just didn't expect that to be the case.
Speechless.
Word.
Yo, so yeah, that's it. That match took a hard left in the best kind of way.
Yep.
In the best kind of way. Because there's no way. Listen, so AEW has gotten like a lot of shit for its women division, right? But in the last couple of weeks, and I guess we'll dive more into it as time goes on, but in the last couple of weeks specifically, their women's division has done a complete 180. I mean, even if we look at this week's, like Conti and Nyla Rose had a match.
Word.
And now let's take a couple of steps back.
Shout out to Negative One.
getting shout out to Negative One, right? Conti getting to AEW. Conti in WWE. Like, I was like, she's not.
Oh no, I was happy.
She didn't move the radar. She didn't move the meter.
Oh,
Nah,
she moved.
You see, that's not get no nice things, bro.
Foley thought he was watching some nice things, and he was one to. You guys saw the promo, right? The promo this week. He responds and he goes, "Not gonna lie, that comment kind of stung." Yo, bars though, bars from Britt Baker, man. She killed that promo, and I think Mick Foley's response here only puts that much more inf. He's not really tight or anything. I think he's just like, yeah.
Listen, man, life is
Adding a
a
kudos.
cause and effect, right? And she's coming off the match of her career, and she's had the promo of her career. It's simple mathematics. You don't gotta do Steiner math. It's all good.
The question is, what are they
Steiner did that shit before, and it didn't kind of work out.
Yeah. How did they keep the ball rolling is the real question. Like, does this project her to a title match, or like what do you do with her in this situation without her losing momentum? Like, what do you do?
Britt has to come out. Britt has to, whatever this culminates to, Britt and Double or Nothing, if that's what we're looking at, she has to come out with the title. Because I feel Thunder Rosa can survive this.
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa has the experience, the talent to survive this. Thunder Rosa makes everybody better that she's in the ring with, right? So if Britt doesn't go over on this, it's her loss.
Thunder Rosa,
Sounds like you're talking about
Is she even elite? Or she's still
NWA, so we don't know if she's full-time AEW, if she's going back and forth. So Britt Baker is the better choice here as your face of the division.
Ooh.
I like that. I like that.
Face of the division.
We gotta dive deeper into that. But she's definitely. I'm not sure she's all elite. I can definitely tell you she is Shooting the Ish alum, though. And you guys can definitely check her out on the archives. Shooting the Ish with Thunder Rosa. She checks in with the bad guys. And, yo, she goes in deep, man. She had that recent UFC or MMA fight.
Right.
Around that time. We covered that with her. But Thunder Rosa is destined for big things, man. We're just here on the ride, just like with the rest of y'all.
We're gonna circle back.
Thunder Rosa being on big things is an understatement. You're talking about the leader of Mission Pro Wrestling. You're talking about she came back to NWA Power this week, brought to you on Fight TV, $4.99. Yes, things.
Oh.
And she also brought talent over to NWA.
That's
some talent, some women talent. So, yo, she's all over the place. AEW would be stupid not to incorporate her and everything they have moving forward.
They haven't dropped the graphic on the Thunder Rosa signing, so I know it ain't real. But you know what is real? These roads we on.
Ooh.
And you got to get on these roads to the top. Because somebody went on Wish and ordered Mr. and Mrs., right? Or Mr. What is it? Ms. and Mrs.? And they got roads to the top. Roads and
maybe this is that extra hour on TNT they were talking about.
I got it. Said these nuts.
Oh.
Did you guys not see this coming, though?
Yeah, I had to.
I mean, you have Ms. and Mrs., you have Total Bellas, there's a baby on the way. This shit writes itself, right? It writes itself.
Brandy Rose some more.
Let me ask you.
Sports-focused programming, right, fellas?
Yeah, with a sports-like presentation, Luchasaurus. But, I mean, I'm interested in this. I find them ridiculously interesting. Like, I think Cody Rhodes is mad interesting, despite what people may say about him. But I find him personally.
He's a smart dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His tattoo says it all.
That's got to be the biggest misstep in his career, right? Like,
you know what's crazy? It's hideous, sure, but I think it looks badass. I don't know. It's just, it screams, I'm here, take it or leave it. I'm with that. But
anywhere else would have been better, you know, like tattoo.
And not for nothing. Let's just say Cody Rhodes could get away with that shit. Could I get away with that? No.
Yo,
immediately I'll be labeled the miscreant, right?
You just said like is Cody Rhodes getting away with that? Like, I don't think he's getting away with it. Everybody's like, that shit is hideous.
He has a primetime show. What are you talking about? The biggest show, or whatever. He's one of the hosts.
But they didn't give it to him because of the tattoo.
Right.
I pray
in spite of it.
Pray for him that they don't change his logo.
Yo, for real. No updates over the years.
I hope he didn't get influenced by anybody.
I mean, did his dad have like a polka dot tattoo? Is that what happened? And like now they all gotta get it?
No changes. No changes should be done to that at all. But speaking of changes, let's talk about somebody that will be having some changes. Impact Wrestling champs. They're moving again.
Smooth.
Remember when they owned the night? They changed the night. Whoa.
Yo, stop it. My ears hurt. Yo, I can't believe they said it. They out. They're like, oh, now we on a new night. We on Thursdays.
They don't want the smoke.
Hey, nobody live here, right?
Nobody about that video was Eric Young singing.
There's many things Eric Young could do, and singing is not one of them.
Yeah, that wasn't on the phone. Not at all.
So Thursday nights, how do you feel about that? Like, now we got Impact on their own night, no elevation, no fucking like. Well, what else is on Thursday?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. They used to be on Thursdays before, no?
Yeah,
that was SmackDown.
No, Impact, buddy.
Was it Impact or TNA at that point?
I think it might have been TNA. Was that the 5-sided, the octagon, whatever shit?
I think it was just like a year and a half.
Yeah, we're going to geometry.
Yeah, so the one that went like this and this.
Yeah.
Chemistry,
Yo, Vic Deadass said the 5-sided octagon.
Yeah.
He was legit.
Bro,
that's the one.
Yeah,
it's not the square. It's not the square.
It's like two squares fucking.
Listen, it's our business. They can't compete with the WWE Network, with Peacock, with NXT, and they shouldn't try to. Impact has been doing the damn thing on their own. They have been, we said it time and time again on our product, they have been consistent throughout this entire pandemic, giving us entertainment. Like, I have no spite with Impact. And even their inclusion of AEW, I love it all. So this move just screams to me they're smart. They know their lane, they know where they're at, and they know what's best for business.
Well, I don't know
what lane they ride.
I don't know if that AEW inclusion was smart for business for them because they've just been trashed the whole time.
Supposedly they just hit a all-time, or not all-time, but a new low for the year last week with Kenny on it.
Yeah.
What? Oh shit.
Joe, how you feel? How you feel about Impact? Yeah, just as a product.
Let me tell you, I got a special place in my heart for Impact just because I've worked with a lot of people in management there, and I love their I honestly, God, I love their product. I think they have some of the best superstars in all of pro wrestling. They use everybody properly. I mean, everybody is used. Yeah. You know, every show there's different. There's like they're switching their superstars up. Everyone is used. The stories make sense. Their problem is the marketing. Where do you see commercials? Where do you see posters for Impact? They could be a key player here. They can be competing with with AEW Elevation or Dark or even, NXT and AEW because they have the talent. The problem is their marketing. No one knows about Impact unless you're an Impact fan.
You got to be a hard.
That's fair. That's fair. And should we dare say that being on Access TV hurts?
Oh yeah,
because I'm sure Access TV is not available everywhere.
It's not.
Right?
I would love to ask the guys here on the chat here, Danny, and shout out to JJ and them checking us out. Do y'all watch Impact like that, or do y'all watch more of the main product, WWE or AEW? What do y'all watch the most? Let's see if we can get an answer from them.
That's interesting to really find out because, I mean, numbers don't lie, right? Ask Scott Stein about that shit. The fact of the matter is that people are not watching Impact, and they are like really consistent. The best women's division in wrestling has a home in Impact, all right?
Yeah, it's too hard for people to find Impact. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't have a Twitch channel and you don't have Access TV. How do you watch?
You need that access.
Exactly. JJ says he watches it on Twitch.
I watch it on Twitch.
There you go.
I watch it on Twitch, but if you don't have Twitch or you don't know about Twitch, it's not easy. It's not accessible. You're gonna skip right over it. You're just gonna watch the highlights on YouTube.
The fact of the matter is, you make a really good point about marketing, right? My bad, JP. But
no, you're good, bro. You're good.
Yeah, I know. Nobody wanted to hear your stupid ass. So look, the fact of the matter is like marketing, right? If people don't know you exist, how are they gonna watch you, right? Impact's got like this image issue where like people just don't know, right? Right now they just fuse the TNA title, like the TNA title's still floating around for a reason. There's a place in people's hearts for TNA, and that place is not exactly one that shares with Impact. Like, that's why TNA had to come back in that kind of way, right? We just had that pay-per-view with Ethan Page not too long ago, right? Total nonstop action. So Impact's got like this perception issue where like people just don't watch it. It doesn't make itself available in that sense. And in that very same way, I'd be remiss not to mention the fact that we had an interview worth mentioning. And if the people don't know, it's about time they find out. Check out our interview with Bow Wow. Yes, that Bow Wow. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, check it out. Yo, he really goes into his wrestling fandom, and people got to know because a lot of people talk a lot of shit, and I think it's about time that like people get their certain due. And the same thing with Impact. Impact's been putting on this consistent ass product. People just haven't heard yet. People got to listen.
So that's why right now, as you're mentioning that's why more than ever right now, this match with Rich Swann and Kenny Omega, the Cleaner, is that much more important for Impact. Because that is the match that's going to bring eyes to the product. That's the match that's going to be the stepping stone for them. Now, the question is, how do they elevate from that opportunity, that exposure? That's what they need to capitalize on.
I think that's going to depend on how Kenny carries it after he wins. And how they market after that. Post. What's it? Revolution? Is it called Revolution? I forgot the name of it.
And should you need some background into some of the talent that you have in Impact, you can check out our Shooting the Ish archives. We got Ace Austin, James Storm, Cody Deaner, Falaba. I mean, whoever you want to get. We got. Let us know. We'll reach out.
Roster.
Yeah, we've been a little busy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nobody sucks our dick like we do.
Hey, I can do it myself.
The best I ever had.
No. We've got. It's about time. All
I
right,
think we need to finish that and then move on to other
speaking of
finishes.
bumps, all right, I think it's about time we get there, Vic.
Right. So the first bump of the night, gentlemen, champions, might I say. We're gonna talk about finishes, and we're gonna talk about the actual finish, man. The protected finisher itself. With so many false finishes today, is the finisher a thing of the past? Should it be? Enlighten me, guys. What do we feel?
Well, what's interesting is how they're playing Kenny Omega's One Winged Angel. Don Callis makes it a point to say nobody's kicked out of that shit, right? The announcers make it a point to talk about only one person has ever, gotten out of the One Winged Angel.
Too, yeah, I've noticed.
So, I've noticed that in recent weeks, they've made a point of that. So I find this topic particularly interesting because elsewhere, that is non-existent, right? We've
Really? Wait, I got one.
Go ahead.
There's a guy on SmackDown who thinks he's a king, and he's got a move called End of Days that no one's really kicked out of that.
Yeah, because nobody was watching. Nobody watches Dark Match.
If the tree falls and nobody's there, it's still fell, JP.
This bald guy that thinks he's a king.
Joe, do you not like him? Yo, Joe, do you not like Baron Corbin? You're not a big fan?
Let me tell you, I actually, you know what? I used to be.
That's right. Fuck your audio.
I used to be a fan of him in NXT.
Okay.
And then when he got brought up, it was disaster. And I think that if he was to go back to that lone wolf character, get rid of this king BS that he's doing, because it's already 2 years since he won the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
I think he could be like a strong big man on SmackDown, and they could really use him like they're doing. I think they're trying to do with Braun Strowman, but you can't really compare the two. But WWE lacking big men right now, especially with putting one into the Hall of Fame this year, or two of them actually into the Hall of Fame this year.
Ooh.
Jesus.
They need to step up their game with their big men.
And they have big men, right?
They have them.
Coda, we saw Coda for a little bit and he disappeared. You know, AJ Styles is walking around with the biggest man we ever seen coming from Nigeria. You know what I mean?
I think almost going to be the next big one.
Yeah.
You think, yo? I don't know, man.
I'm terrified.
I'm terrified too.
Yeah, I feel like he moves around kind of slow and big.
I was just saying.
He reminds me, we haven't seen shit. Let's be real. We haven't seen shit. Right?
WrestleMania might be it.
He might move like the Great Khali. We don't know yet.
That's that. Yo, I'm so glad you said it because
you mean
exactly
the Hall of Fame Great Khali.
Hey! You talking about the movie star on Lungs Yard?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
That's right.
I just saw
that
that.
guy. That guy moves better than what almost looks like he moves like. Like he's really slow to get in and out of the ring. I'm terrified that it's just gonna be slow motion for him. Like, you know, when Ant-Man turns into a giant and he just that's what it looks like to me.
But Mischief, remember, he could use that. He could stay in his lane because he's 7'6". He could no sell like a nobody in the business. He could move as slow as he wants because once he gets his hands on you, it's over. Think about the Undertaker when he first came out. Undertaker wasn't hopping around hippity hoppity. The most thing he would do was
Michael Myers. He was Michael Myers.
First of all, he kind of did. All right. And second of all, you made the greatest point on against yourself when the Undertaker came out the last time they booked good big men. All right. We're talking about 2021 booking of big men. Braun Strowman just got slimed. You want to talk to me about booking of big men? That's what you want to talk about? The stupid train that's coming? That's the angle you want to talk to me about?
But we were talking about finishes, right? What do you think Omis's is gonna be? What do you think Omis's finish is gonna be?
getting in the ring and getting winded. It looks like.
You take getting in the ring and getting out.
I would imagine they go and chokeslam with him, right?
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
He holds somebody, like he duels somebody, like chokeslam, and he holds the guy just so AJ can do the phenomenal forearm. Just stands there and holds.
From what he looks like, do you think that he can hold somebody up in chokeslam position long enough?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
The man is massive. Like listen.
Xavier Woods. Watch.
He is athletic, bro. Like we're really downplaying because we haven't seen him do it. Doesn't mean that he is right. That's the fact. He's playing a role specifically. He's a stoic character for a reason.
And you know what's great about it? He's going to be facing two great sellers at WrestleMania, Xavier Woods and Kofi. So they're going to make him look like $1 million with anything he does.
Yeah, I hear that, man.
Yeah, that's disrespectful, JJ. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican. Come on now.
That's right.
JJ not feeling Rich Swan's hair. I was laughing at that.
Yeah, yo, that's right. Su Young, what's up, yo? Like, some knocks on that.
They should have finished. They should have finished his hair. No, but what they need to talk about is these finishers because, all right, Baron Corbin's a good one. And the Days, that one's kind of protected, kind of, sort of. But, like, look at the biggest finishers right now. Which one is? What is? RKO is probably one of the bigger finishers right now.
RKO is protected.
But people still get up from it.
Nah, people bounce off all the time, Vic.
People can get. There's been times, but at the same time,
I see what you mean. I didn't understand that.
And it's over, right?
But you're saying that they kick out or they just don't even.
I mean, Bray Wyatt did it, right? The Fiend just did it.
Yeah. But the Fiend's the Fiend. Like,
you know what finisher is kind of ruined for me? It's the super kick.
Oh my God.
It used to be a phenomenal finish. Now it's just
that
some signature. I don't know what you call it anymore.
I think what happened was that, like, while Shawn Michaels was in his crazy boy, sexy boy phase, and he went to the bar and he was like, you know, when you buy everybody a shot, he's like, everybody take my finish. And now everybody does that shit. And, like, Dolph Ziggler does it 8 times in a match. The Usos do it 9 times. Like, the Young Bucks do it 1,000. The Indies are just super kicks. Like, if you've never seen indie wrestling before, it's just super kicks.
What's worse, the super kick or the spear? I think the super kick. But
super kick.
But the spear's pretty bad, though.
And now what they're doing with the stunner. They're doing it with the stunner.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to get there. It's going to get there.
Yeah.
It's going to get there.
The cutter.
Stunner this week?
The cutter, the stunner, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Did Ty Conti hit a stunner this week on Nyla Rose?
She had a lot of knee strikes.
Yes, I saw something like that.
Yeah.
That match.
It was like a combination of like a stunner and like a cutter or something. I don't know what.
It was off the springboard, right? Like
yeah.
Conti be a little sloppy sometimes, but
she did what John Cena was trying to do, but nobody saw him, you know?
Nobody saw him do it.
In case you didn't see, Falco.com. Make sure to get your bobbleheads. They're doing the anniversary WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan. Please don't be in the main event of WrestleMania. Bobblehead. And your boys, PC 10% off. We got you. All those people that forgot, Three Kings Day, anniversary, Christmas, whatever, your baby sister, brother. We got you.
3 Kings
These motherfuckers said, yo, that was in January, yo.
Foco got it going on.
Foco me, Foco you.
That's right. Foco got the special WrestleMania moments each and every Wednesday coming out. So check those out, man.
I think when it comes to a finisher, what's ultimately going to sell the finisher is the story you're telling in the ring, right? Because every time you could do a finish multiple times, and depending on how the person is selling, depending on how live the crowd is, depending on the person selling, how exhausted there is, it's going to be, right? So that is part of it. Unfortunately, people are bouncing up too quickly for moves that are being sold. That's the problem. People are no-selling like a motherfucker. So that's what hurts.
You know who's like a chronic no-seller? Cody fucking Rhodes is a chronic no-seller. Dude, he takes power bombs and then just fucking pops up. Like
I have not noticed.
He was facing Penta, and I forgot
but that's
what
a terrible match. You gotta expect that in that match. That's a
That's
a Hammerstein. That's a Hammerstein classic right there.
Just bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
fucking endorific.
pop up, pop.
Did you guys notice though the ref was in their ear a lot? I feel like maybe they were rushing them.
Yeah.
Really? They were like, "Yo, get your shit in and get out."
Maybe they had
but like, were they saying get your shit in at that point? Like,
probably get your shit in and go.
You're gonna tell Cody Rhodes to get his shit in? The opening match
he wasn't main eventing.
I didn't even thought of that.
He wasn't main eventing,
right? Exactly. He was in the beginning of the show. Everything moves for Cody.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Incorrect. The show was Omega and Matt Sydal, who had a dope match.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they opened the show. All right, so they were like the second match of the night.
Evan Bourne's finish is dope. That fucking shooting star. He's always done the best shooting star, I think.
When he can hit it.
Yeah.
Essentially, for more. Yeah, man, my bad.
No, I'm sorry. It's between Evan Bourne and Billy Kidman with the best shooting star.
Yeah, you gotta go with Kidman too.
Wow.
I always loved how effortless Billy Kidman made it look. Like he always made it look like he was just gonna walk off the turnbuckle.
For me, I always loved his ability to hit it from other areas besides the turnbuckle, like when he would do it off the apron.
Yes.
Table
on the top middle of the rope.
Nice.
Everywhere. This guy, he was able to do it everywhere.
Billy Kidman, man, he shined in WCW for sure.
I don't know. I believe in the false finishes as being a problem, but I don't think getting rid of the finishes is the way. You got to remember. Don't forget. AEW had a banger with Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley recently that just was exploding of entertainment.
It was sparkling.
It echoed something old school that we mentioned to each other.
Fizzled out, but yeah.
The finish.
You know,
everybody remembers the finish. It's so important. Nobody gives a shit what happened. Nobody's gonna remember what happened in the middle unless it's Stone Cold and The Rock at WrestleMania 17, and then there's that. But you know what it is?
It's like you can build a whole story around, hey, this guy, if he hits this finish, it's over. And then it's just the two guys going back and forth trying to hit their finish and no one hits it. Or if he messes up on the finish.
Right.
Like, well, that's because he didn't get it all in. And now you take that away, right? Like now everything's a signature move. There's no such thing as a finish.
Yeah, it's like when Penta or Kenta came in. Kenta right there at the end of AEW hits a GTS on Moxley, and he sold it horribly.
Damn.
Didn't even hit him. Just
bounced up.
Yeah, they've been having trouble with that, man. They've been having a lot of like bots.
Was it worse than Kingston and an explosion or Vince and a stunner?
There's nothing worse than that.
You know what I blame? First and foremost, you can never get rid of finishers because remember, when it comes to professional wrestling, they are telling a story, and every story needs an ending, right? I think the problem is that everybody's trying to get their shit in, and they forgot about the integrity of a match card, right? Yeah. Because you're supposed to be seeing those false finishes in like main events. In pay-per-views, it matches to have something on the line, right? And now you're seeing that in every dark match. And you know what I mean? I think that's the problem. And why is because everybody's trying to get noticed, to get the shit in. Because your 15 minutes of fame can end up like this.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't even imagine the standards that these guys have to get to in that pool of talent, because you think about it, you're training and you're trying to work for a spot where the boss are the fucking legends that are the spot monkeys of yesterday, and they've seen all the flips and they've done all the fucking crazy matches, all the flips and shit. How the fuck do you impress them motherfuckers? Like, how do you impress the Young Bucks right now?
You beat Darby Allin, who's just constantly on a quest to try and die. Like he must have like $1 billion life insurance plan, and he's just like, I'm ready to give it to somebody.
You saw that reverse coffin drop this Thursday?
Yes.
Way. He fucked up. He gave him the wrong coordinates.
Yo, you want to know what has to finish? Kyle Clark made a point. What do you think of the Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman rivalry? That has to finish. Who asked for this shit? Who was here raising their head, petitioning to see Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman? If you don't got something good, don't give a shit. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. If you don't got a good match,
the next Taker, okay? He's the guy that shows up at WrestleMania to have his crazy bump.
Greedy.
See, here's the
greedy.
All right, I'm gonna spin it to you like this because this is also true. It's also crap, right? Here's something that we need to acknowledge here is that two realities can exist simultaneously. Right? It can be crap, and it's also a draw. Because let's be real for a second.
Like kissing
a
your sister.
giant chasing Shane McMahon off of, Mr. Shane McMahon, Mr. Stunt on Death, right? Mr. Jump off the Hell in a Cell, the Titantron, Your Mother's Kitchen. Like, he jumps off of everything, right? Mr. fucking, I'm going to risk life and limb. At least I'm going to make it look that way in order to sell a match. Braun Strowman, who's had his fair share of carnival moments, right? Feats of strength, flipping bullshit over and knocking porta potties off the stage. And, like, he's done his fair share of shit. So is this match not as sensational, in quotes, right, as a WrestleMania match should be? Can it not be stunt-terrific? Can it not be? Yo, dude, people will tune in for that. And you know what? That's a match that people will talk about if they jump from something high enough,
Right. But I've seen this. I've seen this when he fought Steve Blackman in SummerSlam. Then I've seen him fight the Big Show. Then I've seen him fight the Miz last year. Then I've seen him fight. It's the same match.
But you've seen them, and you've seen them all. You see, and you're gonna see it all over again.
I'm a dirty whore.
Listen,
all the slime and everything.
Dirty.
There's one thing you're forgetting.
Braun. Yeah. There you go. You're good.
The storyline that we're getting to this point has been idiotic. That's the part of the match that doesn't sell. You had him say, "You're not here to get me because you're stupid." Like, really? Really? That's the best. We have all the writers across America and the world, right? You have Vince McMahon ripping up scripts left and right, and that's the best we can do. That's my problem with it. If you want to sell me that match, sell me that match. And they haven't sold me shit. They're forcing me to watch it, right? And on two nights, right? And the one thing that
the match isn't on 2 nights, you dumb bitch. It's gonna be on one night.
It's just one night.
Bro. Brown's gonna throw him into the river, and then the next night he's gonna come out the water. Like, I'm telling you, bro, this shit is terrible. And you know what? You know what this match is missing? You know what this match is missing? It's missing Vince McMahon coming out and shitting on Shane. And secondly, I wonder, what did Shane do to Vince to put him up against Braun? What underlying shit ribbed the fucking Shane? Did he sneeze on him? Did Shane sneeze on Vince? And he's like, "You have Braun!" Like, is that what happened?
JJ wants Braun and Charlotte for WrestleMania, and I second that.
Braun and Charlotte.
Yeah. So I want to make it a point. I want to make it a point. Bringing it back to what you guys mentioned before. Kenny Omega's finish is protected. You mentioned that, the one-winged angel, but we didn't really get confirmation on Roman Reigns' spear and how we felt about that. It is a commonly used finish. Edge has it as well, spear versus spear at WrestleMania. But moving forward, I think that plays a little interesting branch in this tree of tribal chief versus cleaner. When we talk about Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns, where do we side on that right now?
So Kenny Omega's got to win that Impact title, right? And that will certainly help tip the scales in his favor.
Yeah, we were a week early. We're a week early.
We're a week early on that point, right? But in terms of finisher, I would raise you that it's not the spear so much as it is that Superman punch. Yeah. That Superman punch is his finish.
I didn't think of that. Okay, right.
That's what the
submission he's doing. He's got that new submission move too.
What's he calling it?
I think it's called like a guillotine or something. I don't know what he calls it.
Yeah, he's been using that shit.
But remember, the one thing about Roman Reigns is that he sets up routinely these finishers, right? So, and it only happens when he's about to end the match. And people rarely kick out of it. There have been moments in pay-per-views, but for the most part, he rarely kick out of it. That's why I can take that as a finisher. When you're talking about super kicking, when you have to hit 7 and that's still not your finisher, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But that's far too common. But to Vic's point previously, right? The tribal chief and the cleaner, they both have like really protected finishers, right? They've both been protected, I think, in the last couple of months. And I mean, you could argue Roman Reigns' entire career, right? Where they've been protected as performers.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns has always been built up to be like the man in the WWE, right? AEW was just made for Kenny, it would seem, right? Because ever since day one, it always felt like that was gonna be his. But that's gonna be his company.
But I would argue it wasn't until Don Callis that Kenny has been noticed. Because we've talked on here many times that it's been lackluster.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
You're right.
Once he got that mouthpiece, once he got that Paul Heyman on his side and Don Callis, that's when the table has turned. And the same for Roman Reigns. Yep. Let's not forget. So that is the commonality between these two battling for the number 1 spot. Ooh. They have the right manager at the right time in the right moment.
Joe, where are you leaning on this? Because we're seeing some good points here. JP made that great balancing point.
Baby. Come on now.
Let me tell you, I've been waiting. I've been like salivating for this topic because it's something that actually I really wanted to talk about. You have the two, quite honestly, two of the best or two of the top wrestlers today. You got Roman and Kenny, right? Now, both finishers they're great. Everybody goes crazy when, Kenny hits his finisher. Everybody goes crazy when Roman hits his finisher. But you have to think about all the other details outside of it, and despite the move itself. Which move do you think you would kick out of if you were to be, have both moves put on you? You're going to kick out of the spear before you're going to kick out of the one-wing angel, right?
I agree.
At least I think.
I agree wholeheartedly. I agree with that.
So who's selling the move better? Kenny's got a move that no one seems to be kicking out of. Roman's hitting a spear that other people hit, but we're comparing both moves right now. So who's selling it better?
One thing you have to mention, though, Roman Reigns sets up the spear with the Superman punch.
Roman Reigns flips. He adds a spin to it sometimes.
That's Bobby Lashley.
Lashley's got that little flip.
Roman has done that, though. Roman has flipped with it.
And then Bobby said, I'm the WWE champion.
I'm the champion now.
I will say, though,
here's the thing, too. You have Roman on once a week on SmackDown, right? That's his opportunity, not over to get his character over, but that's to build. So when he does hit his finisher, it's that wow factor. Like, oh my God, no one's kicking out. Kenny Omega is on Elevation now. He has the opportunity to go on Dark. He's on Impact. He's on AEW. He's on 4 times opposed to Roman being on 1. And to me, being on 4 to 1, you're failing right now.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity to drown Roman Reigns if they wanted to, because he's the cleaner. It's Kenny Omega. Everybody knows Kenny Omega, even if you're not a fan of AEW or New Japan. You know the name Kenny Omega, right?
Yeah.
He's on 4 times a week opposed to Roman on once, and we're comparing them right now. So who's really doing the better job?
That's fair. Yeah, oversaturation is a problem. Talk to Dolph Ziggler about that shit.
Nah, he's fresh.
And he's cutting the same promo on Impact than he is on AEW. He's literally same thing every time.
But because like we said, nobody's people are not watching Impact, they're watching AEW, right? So
just run that back real quick. That shit you said yesterday.
So somebody can hear. Here's the difference. I think that Kenny needs Callis more for the mouthpiece, more than Reigns needs Heyman to speak nowadays. Reigns has gotten better with his promo, and Kenny's still playing catch up.
That's fair.
He's fresh.
I think it's also the personas that they're putting on, right? Like Kenny is supposedly this more nuanced villain, which I'm still not sure I buy 100%, but
yeah.
Roman keeps it like very meat and potatoes, which works. Which I I think people put a lot into, well, look at all the details. Screw all the details. I want something simple. If I'm sitting down after a long day's work, I don't need to sit there and count details.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You also can see too, like Roman's with Heyman and Kenny's with Callis. The way that Kenny and Callis present themselves, they're side by side. They're a package.
Wonderful.
Roman makes it known that Heyman is behind him.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
He's in charge. Now another thing too. Kenny Omega is not going to be as successful right now if it's not for Callis. If he's on his own, it's not going to work as well. But have you seen Paul Heyman involved in the Edge story yet?
Nope.
You would have put Heyman with the Usos and their own thing and let Roman handle his own business, still going to be the same.
Yeah. It's very interesting when you compare the way Roman and Heyman's relationship and the way they use each other compared to Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Right? Very different. Roman speaks for himself.
Yep.
Like you said, he's behind him. Even after, if you notice, every segment, he's behind Roman. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I don't think if Don Callis did the same for Kenny, I don't think Kenny could execute.
Nope. He needs Callis. He needs Callis to reiterate everything that he's saying.
I agree with everybody's point here tonight.
Little bitch. Pick a side.
But I will say that when they do face each other, Kenny's gonna beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. I don't think you need to cover any more after that. Moving on.
That's it. Bam.
That's it. Boom. Hard segue.
Cut.
The doctor is here to save the day, though. After that terrible segue, she's here and she's gonna save the day. But is she in the title picture, guys? Is she a stepping stone for Thunder Rosa, or is she gonna be? She's gonna be here to do big things in AEW.
We all know the letters AEW, but the most important letters in women's wrestling is DMD.
Yo, bars.
Damn. Hey, Britt Baker. Welcome. Yeah. Now, Baker's been around. And yo, let's be real. The big matches, the big women's matches in AEW have involved Baker, right? Like, don't forget that Baker Swole match.
Yes.
Right? That was a big deal. All right, that shit was dope. All right. Baker is the future of this company as far as AEW is concerned. And there's a lot of talk about her and Thunder Rosa. You know, will Thunder Rosa make way for her? Well, Thunder Rosa is 34 years old. All right. That's not insanely old. I mean, that's as old as Roman Reigns and shit, right? Like we're around the same age in terms of stars. But Britt Baker is 29 years old. If you're gonna invest in the future of a company, look at where Britt Baker is right now. Now, that's no knock on a woman like Thunder Rosa, because Thunder Rosa is amazing. And let's be honest, as far as AEW is concerned, their women's division is concerned, Thunder Rosa came and lit a firecracker since the moment she came in as NWA Women's Champ. From the moment she stepped in the AEW women's locker room, we've been talking about them different.
Legitimacy, baby.
So the person that has most benefited from that is Britt Baker. Britt Baker can take all these L's now because it is the opposite of the Roman Reigns effect later.
Okay.
It took a long time for us to warm up to Roman Reigns. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was just dubs, just winning. He was just winning. John Cena all over again, just winning. There was no strife, right? There was no passion and pain. There was no broken glory. It was just glory. It was just great. I won the Royal Rumble. Great. Now, and it was like, oh, damn. Britt Baker taking all these big L's. Who won against her and Swole?
I liked him. He was a good rapper.
Exactly. Who won against her and Thunder Rosa? Exactly, right? The major storyline, she's taking L's, but looking good.
Yep. But I will correct you. Roman Reigns didn't do that. That's the problem why we hated him. He was taking the W's. But
that's exactly what I said, you dumb bitch. That's what I'm talking about.
You say he's taking the W's and she's taking the L's. You were trying to compare.
She's taking the L's. She's taking the L's.
I know. Anywho, I will say one thing.
That's what he said.
I will say one thing. Britt Baker
The same
said
thing.
that Thunder Rosa has been doing this for 20 years. And that is a false. They've been actually wrestling for the same amount of time.
It's not
They both started wrestling in 2014, 2015. So, in the grand scheme of things, they're both at the same platforms at the same time. But I agree, Britt Baker benefits from this. Like, let's remember one thing. We were not talking about Britt Baker until these matches, this feud with Thunder Rosa. We cannot disrespect the fact that Thunder Rosa has made Britt Baker legitimate. You said this match about Big Swole? Who else watched that shit? It's talking about
We all did. Months ago.
But
What are you talking about? It was the one in the dentist's office.
And
That
this
shit was
is
dope as hell.
first time it was brought up again in months.
Oh, this guy, bro.
I think
Britt talked about moving forward for the rest of the year.
10-second time over here. You forgot about it already.
I think everybody's talking about Britt Baker, and they have been for a while. Just it hasn't been the proper moment for her to shine. Where before she was taking the L's in lower card matches. Now she's taking the L's in the upper card matches. Now she's got more momentum. I don't necessarily think you put her in the title picture right now. Let her keep evolving. Like, give her the momentum. Like, who in the women's division right now can you give to Britt Baker?
all of them. I'd give her all of them. And that, just to your point, you don't put the title on her. You let her keep working everybody else. Because look, now Thunder Rosa's set. Because Thunder Rosa could do that on the other side, on the parallel, and they could run both simultaneously and keep bringing them both. And that long list of talent of women back there can start coming up slowly and surely. Yep. And that's not taking anything away from what both of y'all said, what Mischief and JP said, because those points are extremely valid and they're true. But for her to have the title on her, it's overkill, I think.
Yeah. You make more opportunity if you have Sheeta, like, for example, right now Sheeta's the champion. Let her have her own feud with Nyla Rose or whoever she's feuding with. Now you have another opportunity where Britt Baker's feuding with people. Now you have two women's stories going on, both developing women's talent. That gets the chains, going. That gets the ball rolling. Now you have more talent to build instead of it being one story where Britt's the champion, and now there's only one women's story.
Mm-hmm. So to that point, then that's why Thunder Rosa needs to have the strap, because we're talking about Thunder Rosa bringing legitimacy. We need a champion that's going to bring legitimacy to that title, so that eventually when Britt Baker is ready, that slow burn storyline that we're starting off right now, if we're talking about next year, Britt Baker going over, I'm with it. Because now every champion, because I'm sorry, Hiroshita, what has she done with the title, yo? Nyla Rose, she just lost to Taya Conti.
There's one big issue though with Thunder. She's not all elite.
Nyla Rose has the worst booking out of everybody in AEW.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, bro.
Yeah.
It's a little Vicky Guerrero and
Taya Conti this week. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it was.
Like, how do you make her lose? It's unrealistic.
It's
I
rough
don't know.
to see her keep
Can I get
taking
one?
out.
Unless you build Ty Conti as this like jiu-jitsu master, which she is, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
she's-
biggest thing with the women's division in AEW. They're not developing their characters outside of the ring. There's no do you know anything about any of these women besides what they do in the ring?
They got to be on Being the Elite for all that, I think.
There's no way to invest in them. If I know something about besides Britt Baker, and honestly, that has to do a lot with outside mainstream stuff. She's dating Adam Cole. She does this. She's a dentist.
ooh.
Out of her, who do you know anything about on the women's roster?
So
That you can invest in.
do we blame the commentary then? Because technically, the commentary is supposed to build up the performers that we are seeing. They're supposed to build up, give us a background, that context that we're missing, right? Especially when it's a new product. So is it Tony Schiavone is this why Britt Baker's always pushing him? Is this why this
Shivani does a great job. They do a great job together.
Yo, JP, you mentioned something really.
Shout out to Paul White and commentary and elevation this week.
Yo, JP mentioned something really interesting, right? Remember when we went to the Monster Factory and we were talking to Ian, right?
Yep.
Ian from ROH, Ian Ricciaboni, right? Ricciaboni. I always fuck up his name, but he was talking about how people sweeten up the commentators so that they put you over on commentary. And I'm wondering, like, when you listen to commentary in AEW in general, like, let's not even focus on the women's division right now. Just in general, it's so bored. All right, there are big moments that have happened, aside from, like, Sparkler Fest. But there were big moments that have happened, like big matches, right? There's just been, like, a lack of storytelling, to JP's point. And then there's no grandiose. Like, even when Tony Schiavone says, "It's Sting," he sounds like he sounds like Chad Boswick, right? Rest in peace, right? After the 3,000th time that they made him do the fucking Wakanda Forever shit, that he was just like, yo, I'm so over this, right? Like, they're so over it. Tony Schiavone's so over it. Jim Ross is so over it.
Yo, JR.
Holy shit, what a disappointment that's been.
Yo, I feel like JR is just shitting on the product every time he speaks, bro. Like, he's like, oh.
Remember that time he called Kenny the WWE champion?
Yup.
But look, I can forgive that. That's an error. I get it. Yeah, all right, whatever.
I mean, when you've done one thing for so long, you know, it happens.
Yeah, it slips.
So many good things for WWE when he was on a commentary team. So many moments, for example, WrestleMania moments that I can remember very clearly. You hear JR's voice in the background of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not doing that for AEW.
No, but he also didn't do it for anybody for a very long time. Because when he was doing shit for NJP Dub, he was not the same guy.
I agree.
And you know what? Towards the end of his WWE run, he wasn't either. Like, we could lie to ourselves and say he was, but he really was not. He wasn't giving you that blood that he would always give you. Just like you said,
It was more chair shots than pops, for sure.
Yeah.
So wait, to be fair though, JR is not playing the same role in the commentary team that he did in WWE. Tony Schiavone's playing that role. Tony Schiavone is the Michael Cole. JR is the color commentator.
The other guy.
Excalibur
is supposed to be the color guy.
I feel like there's a lot of play-by-play, and I'm not too sure who's supposed to be colored, though.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like three play-by-play guys who occasionally do a little color.
You have some legends in AEW, right? You have Jake the Snake Roberts. You have Sting come out. Why aren't we hearing about their body of work? Every time you see them on screen, you should be throwing out gems about the memories and the highlights and the marks in the industry that they have paved the way for.
Lance Archer is a sick man.
The reason why they don't do that is they don't want them to seem like they're like outdated and old.
Yeah.
That shit is dumb. Then why did you sign them?
That's exactly. Take it for what it is.
They're not outdated, you know.
Yo, they can 93 Buick and try to change it, sell it for fucking 2015 Mercedes. That doesn't make sense. It's a 93 Buick. Take it for what it is.
I think we can just all agree and we can just give them a chair shot, and all collectively, an overall chair shot to the head. And it says they're old school. We'll give it to them to the head shot.
Are you trying to say that it's time for HPC of the week? Is that what you're trying to talk about?
Say it.
A little bit. It's time for HPC of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kick it off with the AEW commentating team and their fucking music guy too. They all get fucking chair shots.
Mikey Ruckus, hold on. I like Mikey Ruckus. He just doesn't like our Instagram, which now you can follow us on Instagram at HPC2Sweet_. Because fuck you, that's why. All right?
Yep.
But back to the AEW commentary. because that is a major chair shot, right? And Joe talked about those WrestleMania moments, but it was so much more than WrestleMania moments. It was those Monday Night Raws when he walked you through someone's, body of work, like JP said, that built up to like Steve Blackman. Right? Like, you knew so much about his MMA fucking fighting career. Ken Shamrock.
For no reason.
They were sold to you as like these legitimate threats, right? Shane McMahon. Well, he's been around the company. He was sold to you as this
He was talking
legitimate
about his jiu-jitsu championships at 8 years old. Like, nobody needs to know that shit.
But the fact of the matter is, it added to it, right, JP? It added to it. It made you feel, it's not the WrestleMania moments. Those are important. Those are big, obviously.
Bro, not even just the great moments. Think about Owen Hart's situation.
Yeah.
It's the one that told us Owen Hart. It was JR. JR was the voice of the business at that moment. He was the narrator of the story that the WWE was.
He played like two roles. He was the guy that informed us, and at the same time, he also was our voice, right? Like remember him popping off at the end of every Raw when there was a Donnybrook or a Pier 6 going on.
Oh my God, he has a family.
Right. Right.
I was just saying this pandemonium, right?
People trusted in JR. That's what I think it was also. Like, people believed in him and they trusted his word.
Right. Yeah. And then they left us with Michael Cole.
And then we don't trust Michael Cole.
So now we got baby Michael Cole.
Go ahead.
We got baby Michael Cole on Monday Night Raw.
Nope.
It's true, man.
Tom Phillips. It's literally Michael Cole.
I mean, but
because
who has he learned from, though, right?
Yeah.
That's been his mentor. So, I mean.
It's a shame because there are good guys.
I was a huge fan of Corey Graves going at it with Byron Saxton. I thought those two.
Oh, they're hilarious. They're hilarious.
Byron Saxton should be on the commentary table. The only reason to be shitting on the entire time.
I think that's entertaining, but it's counterproductive to what we like and what we're talking about when we say we want more. We want him to talk more about the wrestler and
I would argue it's counterproductive because then the straight man, the shooting man, Michael Cole is not doing his job, or Tom Phillips.
Right. So I mean, that's a thing. It's his role to put it all together, I guess.
If you go look back when Kofi Mania, right? Kofi Kingston wins the WWE title at WrestleMania. Any clip you go watch, whose voice was in the background? Emotional. Byron Saxton.
Yep.
You believed it. It made you emotional. It made me emotional.
Yep.
Hearing his voice. Kofi did it, man. Like him crying in the background. That's commentary.
But that wasn't a work though. That was a shoot because remember, Kofi was the second black champion in WWE history. Like, this shit is crazy, and we just had our third. Like that was just authentic. That was just authentic. You had Shad, rest in peace, and MVP crying at a bar at a live stream show when that happened.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Two gentlemen that were through that product, and now one of them is back, and they were feeling that. You know what I mean? So that was authentic, but that's what we need.
Exactly. So that one pop of the year.
The consensus is that all of commentary, it's not just AEW, it's also WWE has lost its way, right? We go back to like the Gorilla Monsoon and Heenan days, which I think are probably like peak wrestling. Like, if you want, you can talk about JR and King and like they were awesome and they were great and shit. They're on your Mount Rushmore. But if Mount Rushmore is 4, you've got to fit Heenan and Gorilla up there as well. Hey, and then and Vince too.
Yeah, Vince.
Yeah. So you only get one. You get one add-on. That's it.
But today, and I mean, maybe, you know, we're asking for a lot, but today they don't get that kind of leeway because look at Samoa Joe and Excalibur, 2 different companies. I think they're the best in their respective companies at that.
Absolutely.
All right. Excalibur tries to be the straight man. He tries to give you play-by-play, and he tries to give you the depth, right? That foundational basis to like get to know the wrestlers that they need to do more of. But then like JR is bitching about the product, and then fucking Shivani's talking about Sting and some other bullshit.
If I was to use a WCW analogy, he's your Mike Tenay.
Ooh, Mike Tenay. I hated Mike Tenay, man.
But you know what? Mike Tenay informed you, and I think we all became a little bit smarter because of.
That's fair.
Mike Tenay reminded me of Kurt Loder from MTV News. Remember that?
Little bit this old school. What did we all become a little bit more of after WWE added a choo-choo train sound to Braun Strowman's spot on the outside of the ring when he tackles you now?
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. None of you saw it, so none of you heard it.
I heard it
from my window at first. I thought because I live near a train, so I thought, oh, maybe there's a train. And then No train. That's
Oh my God! What?
That was painfully cringeworthy.
Yo,
I was just like, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, what are we gonna do now? When Ricochet jumps from the top rope, we're gonna go pew pew. Like he's gonna do the Yosemite Sam and shit.
It's in his entrance. It's in his entrance already.
It is in his entrance.
Yes,
right.
it is. I give Miz and Morrison a leeway. I wasn't really mad at them. I was more mad at Braun after that. Fuck that.
Well, if you want to talk about Miz and Morrison, they definitely deserve a chair shot after that terrible music video. And at the same time, a pop, as Danny mentioned in the chat, a pop to Bad Bunny breaking the guitar over the Miz.
Oh.
And we're about to get the Miz
pop
versus
was
Bad
on his
Bunny.
back. The pop was on his back. It was on Bad Bunny's back. It's like,
absolutely.
It was on Miz's back.
Miz is back. One that could be WWE champion and a bunny in 1 month.
Yep. Yeah, we're about to get Bad Bunny versus the Miz 1-on-1 at WrestleMania. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was gonna be a tag team match. So you know for a fact that Benito has been training in the WWE Performance Center, and apparently he's going in hard because he's showing up every week. He's showing up every week, and now we know it's a 1-on-1. I'm interested
right now.
I'm definitely more interested in that than I am in Shane and Braun. I'm just saying.
That's confidence. That's confidence for him right there. I mean, you must be confident if you could go all out by yourself instead of having your partner out there with you.
Another pop of the week.
He lost his breath just smacking a guitar over me this week.
What was that about? He was mad gassed, yo.
Winded. He's like, "Hi, I just ran up the entranceway."
I mean, you know. It might be, yo, this is the first time he's like doing some crazy action. He might have been so in the moment that he got, overwhelmed.
I'm excited.
Remember, he is a fan. Let's not forget that.
Yo, quick pop to
So what you're saying? Speaking of that, you're saying that Bad Bunny just jizzed on Mrs. back. That's what happened. He just got so excited. He was just like, I see you, bitch.
No, Danny, it would be best for business because if you have Big Show losing to Floyd Mayweather, the Miz could lose to Bad Bunny. And Conejo Malo could go over. It's the best for business.
Yeah.
The Miz is getting paid either way.
Let's close this out real quick. Joe, I want to ask you, what's your heel pop or chair shot of the week, man?
What happened?
What's your heel pop or chair shot of the week? Biggest heel of the week, loudest pop of the week, or the hardest chair shot being the most negative thing of the week in wrestling for you?
Let's see.
Why you think JP's got something to say? Go ahead, JP.
Yes, my biggest of the week, the Lingerie Fighting Championship League had a pay-per-view
of the week in your pants.
You had a shooting near Shalom and Selena, aka Selena de la Renta, going up against Katie Forbes, and folks, it is worth the watch. You get your money's worth, and they're doing great things there. I will view again. Yes, think what you may, but I was entertained.
I regret asking you. I regret it so hard.
Look what you did. Look what you did.
I did that.
Look what you did.
Not one nice thing.
Not one nice thing.
Joe, what's up?
All right. I got one moment that I was like, what the hell is happening? It was on AEW this week, obviously AEW. And it was that Matt Hardy segment where the bunny came out. Now we're talking about bunnies. The bunny came out after the Nyla Rose match, and they just stood there silent for 5 minutes, and no one knew what to do.
Yeah, man. Yo, these botches got to stop, yo.
What happened?
They're not communicating properly or something. Somebody's putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable somewhere.
Yeah. They were all like rolling around the ring. Like everyone was trying to stall, and Matt Hardy was just holding the microphone like, when do I talk? When do I talk?
Yo,
Matt Hardy botch.
That's fair. That was weird. It was awkward. Like they didn't make sense why they were out there.
No,
it didn't make sense. It looked like the end of a SmackDown before pay-per-view where they're just trying to put everybody out there. You know what I mean?
Dale, go ahead, yo.
Danny, like chair shot of the week, The Fiend and Orton. You didn't like The Fiend coming out of the ashes? That shit looked dope.
It did look. Yo, how you guys feel about his mask? How you feel about that mask?
Love it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Child's Play. That's how I feel about it.
Well, but what do you guys think about the rumor that it's actually Bo underneath there?
What?
You know, I put out this tweet yesterday or so, and I got like people coming at me left and right, like, you don't know what you're talking about. No. And I'm like, it makes sense. It makes sense. And if you look at the Fiend, the new Fiend, he's a little skinnier.
Yep.
I mean, Bray could have lost some weight. You know,
so that means Bo packed on some.
The Fiend's been gone since what, like December? I mean,
hey, Bo's been on a farm. Eating off of Liv Morgan. You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
And if anybody is gonna play him, it should be his real brother. So I mean, it does make sense.
Hey, this provides for many opportunities as far as two Fiends coming out, right?
Yes, especially for WrestleMania.
And I'm glad.
Days.
I'm glad that you're saying all that, because one of the pops of the week has got to be the Hall of Fame announcement, right? We see the mayor of Tennessee.
Yes,
one of the most. All of Tennessee, the whole state, the mayor of the whole state,
the whole state,
and the mayor of all of India, as far as I'm concerned, the great Khali, and Kane making their way into the Hall of Fame. Big pops for Kane.
Facts, well deserved.
I get it.
Chair the hell shot for Khali though. What?
Really?
Like why? I mean, I get it. Market share in India, it's like one of the largest, markets they can enter into overseas. But
why was Yao Ming always voted into the All-Star game? You know what I mean? I'm just.
He was 11 foot.
He was tall as hell.
But he has at least the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? Like
what's the fundamentals?
Yeah, the fundamentals. He was an All-Star.
Khali didn't even know who had to get pinned in the match. There was a Royal Rumble where he was throwing people out and surprised at how far they would go. He's like, oh wow, fuck. Yo, he was just tossing people. He's like, yo, I can't believe I threw him that far. I think he thinks it's real.
But have you seen him play ping pong?
He killed the guy. Lest we forget.
When he helped Jinder Mahal in the Punjabi prison match with Orin, and at the end, he's the one holding up the title, like he won it.
Upside down, which is a Khali tradition.
Jinder's
had a Hogan moment, and he thought he won it. But you can't dismiss the impact that Great Khali, when it comes to the WWE and wrestling, has had in India. All the schools that he started, the wrestlers that have gotten their shine now. We have a shooting the alum in Alberto Terrio, his former manager,
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yes, sir. And he's talked about his experience with the Great Khali out there, going out there to train with individuals. So I think, as Old School mentioned, there's a bigger market, share of opportunity. Listen, if Coco Beware could be in the Hall of Fame.
Coco Beware.
No. Not Coco.
That's
Coco
how we ended. That's how we ended.
That's not where you draw the line. You draw the line at like somebody like Drew Carey and shit, bro. Like
celebrity star.
Okay, we can end it right there, Drew Carey. That's a great way to end it. Joe, thanks for being on the show tonight. I appreciate your time, man. Please tell the fans where they can plug you, man, where we can find you at, Twitter and all that.
Awesome, man. Well, first, I appreciate you guys having me onto the show. It's been fun. Like I said before, the energy you guys got is crazy. This is nothing like I've ever seen before. So I appreciate you and your energy.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate
Where
you.
You can find me, The Angle Podcast, on all social media platforms, just at The Angle Radio. I'm live tweeting shows now every day of the week that they're on.
All right.
Bunch of interviews and stuff like that. I have an interview coming up this week. I had Candice Michelle on there.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it was a great one. And next week I got JTG coming on. We're talking about Shaq Gaspar. We're talking about Bobby Lashley becoming WWE champion. We're talking about the Career Award and WrestleMania. All this good stuff going into WrestleMania season. Everything is the Angle Podcast or Angle Radio. So
beautiful. I'll be tuning in, brother. I'll be tuning in for sure.
No doubt. That's right. You fans, show love to your local podcasters, man. WrestleMania week, man, is what we do, is what we love. It's going to be the busiest week for everybody. Make sure you catch what you can. And JP, why don't you tell the good fans what they can do on their way out from visiting?
Make sure to like and subscribe HPC2 Sweet on Twitter, HPC2Sweet _ on IG. Fuck Marcus. Fuck Tony. You're welcome.
Yo, what?
Damn, we didn't talk about the vote, though.
There's